Welcome to another toy review here on my channel. If you're thinking, hang on, you do toy reviews? Yeah, occasionally. When I buy stuff or if stuff's bought for me and people want to shout out, Amazon wishlist link in the description. No obligation. But this is something I had to pick up on Amazon. Much like the Marvel Legends Infinity Saga Captain America, who in the UK is exclusively available at Smith's Toys, this set seems to only be on Amazon at the moment. This is the Infinity Saga Avengers Endgame 2-pack featuring Captain Marvel and Pepper Potts, aka Rescue. Now, we've already had figures based on these heroes before. Ovs, the most obvious one being Captain Marvel, of course, got her own wave to coincide with her movie. And there's a Brie Larson. Likeness is not bad. There's a couple of different sculpts for her. But yeah, her profile's spot on. Like, they're using that, you know, the sort of 3D printing paint technique by this point, and it's pretty decent. Like, the eyes are nice and deep. There's a good use of darker colours. She's got her little blemish on her cheek, a little mole. And it's a really good figure, just like colour and the realization of the costume in figure form is great. And then for the Build-A-Figure Hulk wave for Endgame, we got Rescue, Marvel's Rescue, aka Pepper Potts in her rescue armour. This is a pretty fun figure. It came as is, you know, like that, with her shiny chrome dome. Just grabbing the accessory. Here we go. She came with an alternate backpack click-on, so you could have her with the wings folded into a backpack, or the version with the wings out. So it's like a flight suit kind of mode. And it's a pretty great figure, and I've loved it. It's been on display back there for ages with my War Machine / Iron Patriot and Tony. Thing is, much like Tony, we now have another figure based on this movie in this wave that has a lot more detail. So without further ado, let's take a look at the packaging. Lovely window box stuff. It's the older collector range in terms of it being more limited edition and some unique sculpt items and whatnot being part of it. But quite right too, +4, because, you know, if kids want to buy this and play with them, they should buy it and play with them. Got the Infinity Saga design on the side, same as we have with the Cap box, featuring various characters in various costumes and whatnot from the MCU, from the first 3 phases. On the back we have a big old Endgame poster. For Captain Marvel we have a caption that reads, Captain Marvel uses her incredible powers to battle evil in the ultimate fight for the fate of the universe. And Rescue armor, instead of Marvel's Rescue or Pepper Potts, outfitted with repulsors and a unibeam. Pepper's rescue suit is ready to step into battle against Thanos. That's nice. I mean, she's in it. She's in the suit, so we should probably give her some credit. But just first impressions, like, look at that. So I really wanted this Captain Marvel because how she looks in Endgame is a look that I thought was really, really cool. She comes with a bunch of alternate hands and Tony's gauntlet, the smaller version of the Nano Gauntlet. And then Rescue comes with a fold-out missile pack, so it's a bit different from her wings, which are also here. I'm assuming she's got the normal backpack on, repulsor ray stuff, which implies that if we can't fit them in our hands, we can at least fit them in her feet. And 3 heads. A Rescue helmet, Pepper with the helmet popped, and a Pepper Potts head. So without further ado, let's get it open and have a look. Okay, can we please recognise a stone cold badass? How freaking cool is this figure? Okay, articulation real quick. Standard ankle pivot and whatnot. Double joint on the knee. There is a swivel on the thigh. Crotch joint. There's a nice bit of flexibility, so you can obviously like have the legs extending different ways, have her stood up, have her in action poses that aren't too stifled. There's no articulation at the waist. There's the sash, the classic Warbird Ms. Marvel style sash, and it's a loose piece. Not rubbery though, so be careful. You don't snap it. She's got a little bit of a crunch in the ribs. Shoulders extend outwards. This piece is moulded in a softer plastic, so it can stretch a little bit, but obviously be careful. Single joint in the elbow. Each wrist has a swivel. Head is that sculpted neck that I had a bit of an issue with when it came to the Black Widow figures, but Gives a nice bit of articulation, and because of Carol's shorter hair, her head can move quite a bit. Let's stand her up and do a little zoomy zoom on her noggin, shall we? So, likeness-wise, this is fantastic. The paint is brighter, so it's a bit of a sort of a brighter take on Brie Larson's like skin tone and the hair, which just sort of makes it look a tiny bit more comic booky, which I appreciate. I mean, compare it to the Captain Marvel Brie Larson, like it's kind of like what Hasbro have with Rey in the Star Wars figures. It's clearly the same character, but like the paint applications and the choices made mean that when you put them next to each other, it's like, is that a different human? Like, they're both based off of scans of the same human. Is it a different human? Like, profile, that is the same person in profile, for sure. But just, you know, it's... Yeah, it's an odd one. However, I think it perfectly recreates Carol's look in Endgame. The costume is pretty much a subtle repaint of the base figure of the original Captain Marvel. So, like, take note there of the chest and shoulder sort of gold straps. Yeah? Okay. They're in there. They're just a little bit different. It's not entirely a remold or a reuse. There are quite a few unique pieces, and I'd love to find out like how much of it is reused and how much isn't. I mean, closer examination might give it away, but hey, buy the figure and give it a proper look. See if you wanna go that far. One thing that is definitely new though, as it was with Steve Rogers, is they've kind of masked the pin joints on the arms a little bit. The female figures don't always have pin joints on the arms anyway, but you know, I think it's the sculpt and the paint. They are really minimizing how much of a joint you see. It's almost like they're trying to smooth it out a little bit more, which is nice because it means for display reasons it's sort of like, oh, it's a bit more of a statue than a toy. Let's have a look at the features of Carol, shall we? So, looks at articulation. She comes with 3 pairs of hands, one of which is a pair like her current left hand, which is sort of like a neutral or cupped hand. So for just standard poses, like relaxed hands, out sourcing. Hey Peter Parker, you got something for me? Yes, she does. He does have something for you. It's this goddamn Nano Gauntlet. She also has, as you can see with her right hand, a pair of fists, as the left hand, and she has a pair of flight hands. So kind of like extended palms, and these are, you know, these are glove sculpts. I wonder if they're from another figure that I maybe don't have, but they're pretty cool. What's interesting, of course, is she has the Nano Gauntlet, and it seems that at least with a female figure, I don't know about a male one, if you pop off her hand, should you wish to get all what if up in this scenario, though there is no peg hole, you can fix the Nano Gauntlet in place on her arm. So if you wanted to display another character other than a Tony or Thanos in a bit of a Nano Gauntlet scenario, you can do it by popping their hand off and giving them a bit of room. Obviously it's quite loose, so be careful. But yeah, sorry, I'm just going to fix it. I really, really like this figure. I think it's very, 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 very cool. This is, you know, as much as I love the design of her in her own film, and whatnot, there's something about the Endgame costume and like the shorter hairstyle and that I don't know. It really rang out to me. It's a very, very cool look, and I think as far as finally doing an action figure based off of Carol's look in Endgame, it is a gorgeous piece of work. I'm so happy with this. Let's take a look at Pepper. Okay, so onto the figure known as Rescue Armor. We've got the Pepper Potts from the Iron Man 3 3-pack here, based on the finale of that movie. we've got Marvel's Rescue from the Hulk wave, and here is the brand new figure, aka Rescue Armor. Once again, it's like we've got 3 completely different characters. They're all recognisably Gwyneth Paltrow, but okay. Let's start with the basics. Let's look at this figure's like features. So we have articulation in the feet, very stiff pivot. It's sort of hampered by the sculpt. We have double joints in the knees. We have a very high twist in the thigh. And then, you know, the thingy joint, no waist. Rib crunch, which is actually quite flexible. Arms pop out, a little bit stiff, but I don't mind that. But you do have to be careful because they are a little bit on the flimsy side. So you've got to be careful with the double jointed elbows. Again, quite rare for female figures to have double jointed elbows, but if they start doing this more and they can make it work, great. Works obviously quite well for Iron Man armor. The hands do turn and pivot down, should you wish. And then a very stiff ball joint at the top of the neck. For comparison, I'm going to pop on the Rescue Armor head, which pops on very nicely and is a little less limited in its movement. Because that's the weird thing here. She's a bit restricted in some ways. But that's not the first thing you notice. First thing you notice, considering this is a reissue of this figure, and it does use a lot. Like, it reuses a lot of the mould. It is undoubtedly vastly different, and most of that is down to the paint. So, same mould, but as you can see, the original's got more of a kind of washed matte, terms are incorrect, finish. Basically, this one's got a more metallic look overall. The paint is different in some places, so like here we've got silver on the calves. Here there is no such silver. There is silver on the arms, where there is gold on the original. As far as the back, we'll go into the backpacks in a moment, because they are different. But as you can see here, the paint, get down you, the paint is as it is. Here's the one from the original one. Slightly different gold. Lettering is different. Number is a different size. So, you know, already there's quite a few obvious differences. And then let's look at like the you know, I don't know if it's just my eyes deceiving me, but like I feel almost, and I think it is just because of the paint, I feel like the original one's got a slightly wider rib cage, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the paint. But oi, what are you doing? The helmet is painted differently too. Most notably in sort of the silver and gold of the jaw, and everything is a lot more prominent on the new one. It's very strange. It's a very, very strange kind of circumstance. Features. So as you can see on the original, the popped out backpack has these, and they're a little tricky to get your thumbs under. But it has the, yeah, it's hard to extend them. There we go. It sort of folds out to show off like the vents of the jetpack and everything. These little grey pieces are optional. You can have them up and down. Like I've mostly displayed it with them down, so she doesn't trip over and knock them out or knock them over. And you know, she still looks good like that, right? The new one also has the option to take the backpack off and replace it with a popped backpack. But here's the thing: it also comes with these extensions, which are meant to kind of wrap around her from the back and, you know, flex, and it's like projection weapons, or have them sparking outwards and make it look like she's more kind of in flight. To put them on, you need to pop the vents out of place. You need to take them off, and they are a very small hinge. Now these are quite solid pieces of plastic, sculpted both sides. These are very flimsy, clear plastic. So if you are going to take them out and replace them, it looks a little something like this from behind, right? See where the hinge is the same sort of position for this, and it means that it can project outwards and la la la. It's very limited movement. But it took me a good while to get that in there in a way that didn't feel like it was going to snap. And even then, it is not quite completely in. So I think having a duplicate rescue, because you know it's the same on there, you can still pop them out on there, might be the way to do this, so that you can dedicate one of your posable open backpacks to housing the new attachments, and dedicate one to just being as it is. So if it does break, you know, it'll be because of accidents as opposed to constant display, because you know it's an optional thing. I think that's how I'm going to do it. And what I'm probably going to do is because this one's the one with the pepper heads, I'm less likely to display this in an action pose. So I will probably get these out and put them on this version of the backpack, because it's going to be displayed with its flat backpack for the most part. But if I do want to maneuver it, I can. You see what I'm getting at, right? You understand. Speaking of the heads, let's take another look at the other head sculpts. Put her backpack back on, pop her head off. You ready? Here we go. It's a bit stiff, Your Honour. Ooh, madam. And I'll put back on the head that she was displayed in box with, which is the Pepper Potts head. So let's get her nice and centre. She finds it hard to stand up, which I have less of an issue with the older one for some reason. Maybe it's because I nailed the pose, I don't know. But let's have a look at a couple of Gwyneth Paltrows, shall we? Much like with Brie Larson and the Daisy Ridley Ray figures in the Black Series Star Wars waves, these are both clearly Gwyneth Paltrow, but neither of them are the same. Again, profile's pretty much the same. To me, this one looks more like Gwyneth Paltrow. I don't know what it is. I think it might be the makeup, because she's wearing makeup here. Like it's always more like her makeup. Skin's a bit closer to her, more sort of tan complexion. The lip gloss, it just kind of. This one says Gwyneth Paltrow to me in terms of look more than this one. Doesn't mean that this one is without merits. Like it's clearly her, but it looks more like an artist's interpretation of her rather than the other one, which kind of looks like a photograph of her. If you look really carefully, there is, and this is a detail I really, really like. It's very, very subtle, and I hope the camera's picking it up. There are freckles on her cheek and across her nose. They're incredibly, incredibly subtle on that head. They're a little more obvious on this one. And she has the paint on the eyes is a little off on this, just a tiny bit, but she has a more kind of saddened expression here, which means I think this one's kind of perfect to display next to a absolutely buggered Tony figure from the Thanos and the Iron Man 2-pack after he's snapped. So this one's probably going to be displayed with this head, really. I don't know. I've got time to play around. She comes with one other accessory, which is a standard pair of Iron Man blasty things. But considering she doesn't come with any spare hands, these aren't for her repulsor rays. These are included in case you have a display stand that allows you to have her flying. So they are, you know, like for flight. It's lovely that they include them, to be honest. It is good that they. Oh no! Oh, I'm a tightrope. I'm a stilt walker. Oh no! It's nice they include them. I think it's good. Considering, like, they've really kitted out Pepper in this set with a lot of accessories and options. And I think, to be honest, that was the appeal of the set. If you missed Rescue last time, and you want a Captain Marvel, this is a great excuse to pick up this set and get a Pepper with lots of accessories. Look at her, such a cool figure. If you just want a Rescue in the armor, I think I'd still recommend finding the solo one. I don't know. I just, it helps to have the two, because then you have a optional accessories. But yeah, I think this pack overall, this pack is worth it. It's absolutely worth it. We'll stick the other Pepper in as well. Just a legion of tiny Gwyneth Paltrows, lions and tigers and goop. Oh my! Do I recommend the Infinity Saga 2-pack? Yeah, I do. Overall, absolutely. Well, what do you think of it? Where do you stand on the Avengers Endgame, Infinity Saga, Captain Marvel, and Rescue Armor 2-pack? Do you like it? Do you think it's pretty cool? Do you think it holds up well against the Captain America from Infinity War that we looked at last time? Are you excited to see me review any others in the series? I don't, unfortunately, have all of them on pre-order. I've only been able to get a few, but if you would like to help me complete the collection for reviews and, of course, get shout out in the videos, head to my Amazon wishlist down below, or if you go to my Linktree, search for Official CDJ, you could go to my Twitch donate page and put money toward the ones that aren't on Amazon if you want to. Under no obligation, of course. You could just do what everybody else does and wait for me to just buy toys and review them. Why do I review toys? I just enjoy doing it. It's just something I like doing. Thank you to the 5 people who watch them. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!